the Divorced Girl Smiling Podcast with your host, Jackie Pilosoff.
No one should have to go through a divorce feeling alone and isolated. That's why I created the Divorced Girl Smiling Podcast. Every show is 30 minutes, and the guests are my Divorced Girl Smiling trusted professionals. They're so wonderful. Financial advisors, divorce attorneys, mediators, divorce coaches, therapists, and more. We talk about every subject that you can even think of having to do with divorce. The podcast is meant to empower you and inspire you and make you feel really, really confident so that you can have a good divorce outcome and a great post-divorce life. You can find the Divorced Girl Smiling Podcast pretty much anywhere podcasts can be found, and always at divorcedgirlsmiling.com. So grab a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and start smiling. Before we get started, I want to say something about divorce. When it comes to high conflict divorce, trying to co-parent productively for your kids is challenging. And Sherry Morris can help with these issues. Sherry is a high conflict and co-parenting coach and the founder of her practice, Dear Divorce Coach. Whether you and your ex decide to see Sherry as a couple to learn how to co-parent productively, or see Sherry by yourself to deal with a difficult ex, Sherry truly shines in changing your life and changing your kids' lives for the better. I've known Sherry for a few years. She's a former practicing attorney. She has one of the best reputations in the coaching industry. If you want to learn more, you can find Sherry at deardivorcecoach.com, and you can also find her in the Trusted Professional section of Divorced Girl Smiling. I also want to tell you about a wonderful divorce mediator named Melissa Wheeler-Farrig. Melissa is a former practicing litigation divorce attorney in California. She spent many years litigating, and she was highly successful, but she knew there was a better, smarter way to divorce: mediation. So she is now a full-time divorce mediator, and the name of her practice is High Vibe Mediation. I've known Melissa for a while. She's extremely experienced, very professional. She's also a negotiation coach, so she can help you get what you want in your divorce. If you want to learn more about Melissa, you can find her at highvibemediation.com or in the Trusted Professional section of Divorced Girl Smiling. Do you want a life of wealth and abundance? That is such a loaded question. It's not even funny. Not one person on earth would say, no, I don't. So what we're going to talk about today are baby steps to help you get there. And in the words of my guest, who I'm going to introduce in a second, this is what she says. The idea of baby steps is that they're so small that you can't fail. They're such itty-bitty changes in your life that can truly happen overnight with a little bit of forethought. They shouldn't feel overwhelming or time-consuming, and eventually the forethought needed to implement these slight mind shifts won't take any forethought at all. They'll become habits. And the goal of getting to wealth and abundance is for you to take charge and feel empowered by your wealth, not to continue in a state of crippling anxiety, confusion, or wonderment by it. I love this. I'm so excited for the conversation. My guest is Amanda Campbell, who is a financial advisor. Her credentials are CFP, CDFA, AAMS, AIF, and she's a managing director with WealthSpire Advisors. Hi, Amanda.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Well, always nice to have you on the show. And I love this idea of small changes to change your mindset to get you to wealth and abundance.
Oh, well, thanks. I mean, it really is kind of a blueprint to just creating those itty bitty steps that you can take for such a big and overwhelming topic for a lot of women. So I hope it's helpful. I hope it's, like I said, bite sized. And I never want to say anything is easy when it comes to wealth, but hopefully they can start being those learned habits.
So I want to tell my listeners that this article on Divorce Girl Smiling that Amanda wrote that I was just reading from, and the podcast we're about to record here is from Amanda's book. So tell us about the book that you wrote before we start talking about the baby steps to wealth and abundance.
Yeah, so the Health and Wealth Sisters 360 action plan was really birthed from the idea that myself as a financial planner and my sister and best friend as a personal trainer nutritionist really saw the overlap for just helping women to get through what we affectionately call the spaghetti in our brains, just everything being tangled up, the running to-do list, the needing to put ourselves first, but not knowing how to do it, right? So this book really became an encapsulation of how do women put their best foot forward every single day when every single thing feels so overwhelming all the time. And really, it comes down to you need to be healthy to be wealthy, and wealth is nothing if you don't have your health, right? At the end of the day, we all want to feel good, to, have our bodies feel good. And almost every single decision we make day to day and daily somehow revolves around money, whether you think it does or not. It really does. So even just thinking, oh, I should go to the gym, that costs money, right? But so it was really this encapsulation of if women need to feel really good about themselves, how do they do it, right? Putting your health first. And then what logically follows that is making sure you feel really good about your money. Both things that women have a really hard time talking about, even with their best friends, even with their sisters. So it just kind of organically grew, and we've had such a great response to it. And yeah, it's just been wonderful to be able to share personal stories, client stories, and really help women to just feel good about those two really big areas.
I love it. The book is called The Health and Wellness Sisters 360 Action Plan. It's available on Amazon and probably some other sites where books are available. Okay, anywhere you can find books by
Yep.
Amanda Campbell and Michelle Riley.
Yeah.
All right, tell me about the first baby step that you talk about is changing your narrative. And you say, I constantly hear women say, I'm not good with numbers. I'm not smart when it comes to finances. What a terrible way to talk about yourself. But women do that. So tell me how you can change your narrative and how it will help.
So this is such a big one that I really, I found that I was focusing on a lot with women in kind of our first introductory meetings, right? So I'd say something like, tell me a little bit about where you are kind of in the divorce process or in your money process, kind of where are things standing? And so many times, it is so common. Women will start with, you're going to think I'm stupid. I've been so neglectful. All these horrifically negative statements about things that they may or may not have had control over, right? I hear stories from women all the time. Well, my husband didn't give me passwords to things. Okay, well then did that make you neglectful or were you purposefully made to feel ignorant? Right? I think there's just a lot emotionally that goes into why why we say or why we believe those negative wealth things that we say about ourselves.
Okay, such a good point. And also, if you combine a person who is going through a divorce, they've probably been miserable for several months or years and have only heard negativity and toxicity from their ex. So their self confidence level is like at a 0 to negative number. And so all they're doing is blaming themselves for everything, taking responsibility, and just kind of like bad mouthing themselves, which is ridiculous. So, how do you change the narrative? What's a more healthy way? What would you like to hear women say instead?
I always tell my women, if they say something like, I'm really bad with money, I say, why don't we try to look at it as, I'm still learning about money. Can you help me to learn more about what you just said? Right. Or I have a question about that. And I always tell women too, it is okay to vocalize if you feel stupid. I never want to say your feelings don't matter, right? You're not validated. But I'm not gonna let us sit there, right? So if a woman says to me, "I feel really stupid about this," I say, all right, let's get that out in the open. And I'm going to prove to you why you're not stupid about this, right? You're still learning. So I say anything that has to do with money, just change it to I'm still learning about that. I'm still better understanding that. Or I'm just trying to work on changing my mind shift around that. Right. I mean, think about it. All those negative things that we say to ourselves in our mind, they manifest in who we see in the mirror. And money, like I said, I just can't harp on this enough. It affects every single thing in our lives. So if we're being horrible to ourselves about money, it's going to manifest everywhere into I can't afford that. I can't do that. Woe is me, victim mentality. Now is not the time for that, girlfriend. We need to pull up our bootstraps and start putting in the work, get in the driver's seat.
You're listening to the Divorce Girl Smiling podcast. My name is Jackie Pilosoff, and I'm your host. And I'm here with Amanda Campbell, who is a financial advisor and managing director for WealthSpire Advisors. Amanda has been a financial advisor for 12 years. She has a niche in helping empower women who are going through a divorce, thinking about a divorce, or after divorce. We're going to take a short break. And when we come back, we have 3 more baby steps to help you achieve wealth and abundance. We'll be right back. Thinking about divorce, going through a divorce, or being a single parent after divorce can feel like a hectic, stressful, and precarious time. And your self-esteem is most likely suffering, and it's hard to just stop the stress and slow down and try to get everything off your to-do list. But we all know that's never going to happen. So, since we all know that you need to think about yourself during divorce and you need to get healthy, it's important to see someone who is trained and dedicated to helping people get to a better place, find happiness, find emotional well-being. If this is you, I'd highly recommend therapist Brittany Baker, who is wonderful. She's been practicing for a long, long time. She serves clients in Illinois, Texas, Kansas, Arkansas, Colorado, and Brittany can help you. She does discernment counseling. She helps people through divorce. She does couples therapy. She specializes in anxiety. I mean, she's wonderful. If you want to learn more about Brittany, go to nixbakerwellness.com. I also want to tell you about a wonderful mortgage lender in Chicago named Phil Legelia. Phil is a senior vice president at North Shore Trust and Savings. He can do loans all over the country. I've known him since 2021. He's a great listener. I respect him so much. He's perfect for the mortgage business because he's so knowledgeable and he truly cares. He's a problem solver and he loves helping people make their dreams a reality. If you want to learn more about Phil, you can find him at myoakleaf.com/connect-with-Phil, or you can find both Phil and Brittany in the trusted professional section of Divorced Girl Smiling by going to divorcedgirlsmiling.com. Welcome back to the Divorced Girl Smiling podcast. My name is Jackie Pilosoff and I'm your host. Do you want to have wealth and abundance? Of course you do. This episode is all about taking baby steps to get there. My guest is Amanda Campbell, CFP, CDFA, AAMS, AIF, financial advisor and managing director for WealthSpire Advisors. She's also the author of her book, The Health and Wealth Sisters 360 Action Plan, which she wrote with her sister, who is a health coach, personal trainer, probably has all those things.
Yes.
And the two sisters who are best friends will offer you advice. And I think this would be such a wonderful book to read during divorce because you need something that is positive, future focused, inspiring, and gives you hope. And that's exactly what I think this book does.
Well, thank you.
All right. Baby step number 2 is think before you spend. Now, when I read this, I was like, well, what is she going to tell me how to spend my money? So, tell me about that.
So this is one which I think exactly that. I think when you first read it, you're like, "What the heck?" Like, of course I think before I spend. But do you? And, like, we all fall victim to you're in Home Goods and that new pumpkin spice candle just smells so good. You buy it because it's only 7.99, and then you come home and put it next to your other pumpkin spice candle that you bought for 12.99 from the other store, and, like, now it's winter and did you even use it? Right? Like, it's like, this weird impulse buy that I don't know what they put into Home Goods, but the impulse buying there is crazy, right? But it's
Okay, wait. I just have to say I was about to run away from my screen and grab these 2 glass jars that I bought at Home Goods. They were 20 bucks. I couldn't leave them there, and they've been sitting on my counter for like a month with nothing in them. Okay,
we
so
all
I
do
get
that.
it. And I think the point you're gonna tell me is that the 7.99 doesn't seem like a lot of money, but if you do that 25 times a year, that's a lot.
It adds up, and this is not I forget even who said this once upon a time, but, like, don't buy the Starbucks coffee. This isn't that. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is just think about what you may be giving up instead, right? And I know this may feel overwhelming or just kind of just overkill, right? Like, Amanda, shut up. It's a candle. I can buy myself a candle. Babe, of course you can. But, like, do you need 5 of them? Right? What are you going to do with it? And I tell people it's such a habit for me. Anytime I spend money, I ask myself, what is this in service of? So truly, and I know that sounds insane, but it has become a habit for me. So even when my husband and I are discussing if we're going to I have 3 daughters, are we all going to go out to dinner tonight? Okay, what is that in service of? Are we just trying to like escape not cooking tonight, which sometimes is a good enough answer? Or do we really want to enjoy family time together, right? What is your spending in service of? What are you not going to do with that money? What are you, a yes somewhere is a no somewhere else. That's another way to think about it, right?
Love this. What
So
is like, what's the goal? What are we doing this for? Do we have to have another dinner out, or are we just too lazy, and if we heated up a couple frozen pizzas and made a salad, would it be just as good?
right. What is this in service of? What
Uh-huh.
is the goal? And again, I might seem overkill, but I'm telling you, if you do it enough, I truly do think about every dollar I spend. And I think it just becomes something that lives in your head in a really positive way. It shouldn't feel negative, like, oh my gosh, Amanda said I can't go to, TJ Maxx on Friday. That's not what I'm saying. If it brings you joy, do it. But again, what are you prioritizing that money instead of, right?
Okay, now I am going to bring up the Starbucks thing because I have a huge pet peeve with Starbucks, and I think people are so used to getting it that they like have to have their fix. It's either Starbucks or Dunkin'. They have to have Dunkin'. And it drives me crazy, and I don't want to judge because I used to do it too. But I want to tell people I bought myself for a big birthday. One of the things I bought myself was a Breville coffee pot. Okay. Now I want to just explain this because there's a reason I'm doing it. You don't have to make a pot of coffee. It'll make a cup for you. It'll make different size cups. You can pour the beans right into the machine and then it grinds it in the machine. It makes the coffee. I bought the best kind of coffee. It's called Illy coffee. Okay, I am obsessed. I jump out of bed every morning. I cannot wait to have this coffee. And guess what? It's expensive, but I bet you it's half the price of a Starbucks, even maybe less, maybe 70% less, even with illy coffee, grinding my own beans. It's so easy. There's no pot to wash. So I'm just saying, Starbucks is so overrated to me. I mean, they might listen to this and then like sue me, but I just think it's a habit,
It's a habit.
and if
And
you add it all up, you're spending hundreds of a month on something that you don't need to.
yeah, it is a habit. And but those I think again, those like little and I do talk about that in the book. What habits some people go to lunch every single day, go out to lunch every single day. And I get it. Like working in an office, like you just need 30 minutes to yourself. It's super expensive and super unhealthy, right?
Well, Mr. Wonderful, I saw him interviewed on a show, and he said, he's one of the sharks
Uh-huh.
on Shark Tank, and he said that that is the biggest waste of money and that people should make a sandwich and you would have hundreds of dollars more every month.
I honestly believe people who are now remote working, working from home post-COVID, I truly would love to see a study on, like, how much are people saving in gas and food, just not doing that.
Right. And coffee.
And coffee, truly, yeah, because 'cause you're not
Mhm.
gonna leave just to go get it. Well, you might.
Right.
I
Well,
wouldn't.
maybe you wanna get out of the house, so you go get coffee. And listen, how about if somebody really feels like they need their Dunkin' or their Starbucks, instead of getting it 5 days a week, get it 2 days a week. You'd even save money then.
I Again, I do talk about this in my book as it should really be seen as a treat, something like that, or a reward, right? It's something like that it is not a need. It is not a need. That a Starbucks coffee firmly goes in the want column. A want thing, something like that should really be perceived as maybe this is a Friday, like, oh, got through the week. Or maybe a Monday, like, oh, we're starting the week. Should not be an everyday thing. Again, what are you saying no to because you're saying yes to an $8 coffee?
All right, baby step number 3, remember that money is a tool. And you say in the article, and also in your book, this is another way that seems easy in concept, but will force you to take control of your thoughts and feelings around money when you begin feeling stressed or overwhelmed by it. You say you sit with clients so often that are obsessed with the numbers and how much wealth they have. But I'd argue that it's not a question we should be asking at all. The question we should be asking is, what values does having the wealth I deserve service?
Mhm. So I get this a lot from women. They're like, Amanda, I want to have $10 million when I retire or when I'm X years old, whatever. And actually gotten that number a couple times. Um, why? Why? What is that? I mean, it sounds like a very nice number. Don't get me wrong, but like, what are you gonna do once you have it? You going to the moon? You're gonna go live in Turks and Caicos by yourself? Like, so what? Like, your life doesn't automatically change overnight because you hit some benchmark number you have in your head, right? It's really about the underlying issue. What does that $10 million represent to you? What is that going to get you? And a lot of times when I do this exercise with women, I find out that the biggest thing I hear is, I don't want to be a burden to my children, my adult children, should I age and need help. Right? A divorced woman, if she's not going to be remarried or has not yet found her next person, that is the number one fear that I hear. I don't want to be a burden to my adult children. Or sometimes, they'll tell me, well, I've always dreamed of having a beach house, or I want to be able to go on 5 cruises a year. Whatever it is, let's work towards that goal versus this ambiguous $10 million, whatever number you have in your head. It is ambiguous. I actually very much hate those articles that try to benchmark how much wealth you should have at certain ages. And people will often ask me, "Oh, Amanda, I'm 45. How much money should I have now?" That is an insane question. What life do you live? What neighborhood do you live in? How many kids do you have? What jobs do you like? What do you want out of this life? I think those articles, those benchmarks, they're made with good intentions. All they do is make people feel badly. That's all they do. Your life is not my life. Whatever ladies are listening to this, you have a very different monetary need than I do, than Jackie does. Everybody's fi- everybody's financial plan is different and customized. That's why I do what I do. So once you can remember that money is a tool for living your best life, it is not the end all be all, right? We can start to understand the values and why you want to have wealth. How does it best service you moving forward? It's not about the number.
Okay, I think I know why people say, I want to have $10 million. There's 2 reasons I thought of. One, they're thinking, I want to be secure. I need security. It's all about fear. The second one is, I want to be happy and I want to be able to do anything I want. But the problem is, they don't know what they want, they don't know what makes them happy. So it's not about the money. You're exactly right. It's a tool. It's about dealing with your fear and dealing with trying to figure out what's going to make you happy. And guess what? 10 cruises, one cruise every year is not going to make somebody happy. You have to have much more. It's going to, listen, I just got back from Italy, so I maybe have no room to talk, but that is not what makes my life happy. I had a happy life before I went to Italy, and I have a happy life when I come home. And yes, Amanda, I know that you work with clients to say, okay, let's figure out how you can take that one big vacation every year if that's what you want. Instead of focusing on, like, I don't wanna do it that way, I just want this lump sum money, it won't make you happy and it won't stop you from being fearful. We're all gonna feel a little bit insecure, and all you can control is having a good financial plan for your future and investing in a smart way, and that's why you need someone like Amanda.
And fear around money after divorce or widowhood, it can truly be paralyzing and crippling. Like you're just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do, right? There was this big pot of money, and through divorce, now it's being cut in half. And now I'm meant to be on my own and figure stuff out. But again, that fear, you're exactly right, Jackie. It drives you to be like, oh, I just want $10 million. Okay, what if you got that $10 million and God forbid you died the next day? Like, I at the end of the day, you have to think about, and I see this in divorce a lot too, where women will get hung up on, I want I want 60% of all of our assets, or I deserve X, Y, or Z because he cheated on me. He did X, Y, and Z. I always encourage women, we work together. Let's take a step back. What do you need to live your best life? Because if we're all just emotionally exhausted and fighting over what you want, just to, I don't know, for revenge, like,
Punish. Punish,
well,
revenge, yeah.
who is that serving? That's not serving you. What do you need to live? What do we need to ask for in the divorce proceedings? And how can you move on? Truly, how can you move on? I wouldn't say happily, but I think you can learn to be happy with the plan that you create.
And guess what? With that attitude, you're gonna save so much money in divorce fees, you're gonna get an extra 100 to 200,000.
I've literally seen that play out in real life. It's unreal. I mean, the cost of divorce, if you fight over every single penny, right? If you stop treating money like a tool to live your best life, you start treating it as a tangible thing that you want more of just to get more of, it costs you so much money to get it. Like,
Couldn't agree more. Okay, last step. Step number 4, create small, achievable wins for yourself. And you say, like, here's what you shouldn't say. These aren't the goals. I'm going to save $100 by not going to lunch at all. I'm not going to eat out at all. I'm going to write down every single thing I spend money on so I can create an ultra comprehensive budget. I'm going to walk into my HR department and ask to increase my 401k to the maximum. I'm going to stop myself from buying one more thing on Amazon for the rest of the month. Why are those bad goals and what are better things to say?
they are just so unachievable. Oh my God. If I was like, I am not gonna buy one more thing for Amazon the rest of the month, like, I think my house would actually just crumble around me. Like, I've got 3 kids. Like, I am often ordering something at 9 p.m. for, like, overnight shipping.
Mhm.
But I think, again, in that vein of just thinking, what's a small goal you can set, right? So when you think about Amazon, and we all do this, maybe you're only for the rest of the month going to buy things you absolutely know you need. So you are going to get on, order the pair of socks that your daughter let you know she needed for Green Sack Day on Thursday, and not doom scroll and randomly order 17 other things that you didn't need and had no intention of even purchasing, right?
Or look at all these Instagram ads and then just buy it. Like, just
Yep.
wait. Just say, I'm going to wait till next month. I'm just not going to do it this month.
Yep. So absolutely, kind of like reframing how you enter into kind of online consumerism, I think is a really big deal. Because so much money is spent that way that we just lose track of because it's not real. It just hits your credit card through Apple Pay and you're on to the next thing. It's not real. Um, but it is when it hits your credit card, right? And the other one I hear all the time is the overzealousness about getting back to contributing to retirement funding after divorce, right? Women always say to me, all right, I need to get back in the saddle. Like, I'm going to max fund my 401k. Hold up. You haven't been contributing to your 401k the entire time through the divorce because you probably shouldn't, right? You need to put a pause on all savings of that nature. And you want to come out of the gate doing $24,000? Like, pause. Let's start with maybe $100 or $200 per paycheck into the 401k. See how that feels. Again, you're learning to live by yourself either again or maybe the first time in your entire life. A lot of the women that I work with have never lived on their own before, right? So let's take a step back. What are small things that you can do to ramp yourself up to those bigger goals eventually? And it has been proven through research that setting a big goal and failing is so detrimental to you, not only in the short term, but the long term. You'll never go back to that goal. Because if you don't max fund your 401k this year, you feel like a failure. I couldn't do it. I didn't do it. I messed up. I'm not going to worry about my 401k ever again. Why?
Okay, now here's my advice to people. If you're going through a divorce or you're already divorced and you have any questions about anything financially related with your account, all you do is call your financial advisor. You call up Amanda, you say, "Hey, I want to get back into my 401k." And she's going to say, "You know what? Instead of the max, why don't we start small and do like a 2% or whatever? Do the minimum. Next month, if you in 2 or 3 months from now, if you feel like everything's going well, we'll up it. Call me back." That's what she's there for. And that's why it's so important to have a financial advisor who has a specialty in women and a specialty in divorce, which Amanda has both. So, on that note, Amanda, thank you so much for taking time to have this conversation. I think we helped a lot of people.
Oh, thank you for having me. I look forward to speaking with some ladies.
If you want to speak to Amanda, all you have to do, you can find her in the trusted professional section of Divorced Girl Smiling, which is divorcedgirlsmiling.com. You can also go to the Wealth Spire Advisor site and find her there. I'm going to try to get a better. Okay, you go to wealthspire.com/ROUR-team. Or even if you just go to wealthspire.com, you can find her. So, thank you again, Amanda.
Well, thank you. This is so fun.
It was. And thanks so much for listening, everybody. We will talk to you real soon.